Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Put Finances, a show where we discuss money and how to use it in our homes. I'm Spark, your host, and welcome to my blanket fort. Let's get started. Today we're going to address one question. The question is, what is the key to financial success? The key, singular, one. What is the key to financial success? And by the end of this short video, you'll have the answer to that. Before we move on to answering that specific question, we need to address another topic, which is our emotions. We would all like to think that we are emotionally controlled, emotionally mature people who has the ability to differentiate and separate our spending from our whims and our desires. We would like to think that. It just so happens that the majority of people do not possess that ability. In fact, there's science to back this up. In the descriptions down below, note that there's a link to a YouTube video from D-Science, Discovery Science, that talks about how these two ideas of our own personal value systems and how we value money and what we spend our money on, they're linked. They're practically inseparable. So I recommend you watch that if you're curious to learn more about that. It's only like 2.5 minutes long, so it's a really easy watch. To further analyze this idea that we cannot separate our emotions from our spending, let me ask you a couple of questions. When I say the words credit cards, what do you feel? Okay, it's time to introspect for a second. Note your own emotional response. Credit cards. How do you feel? When I say spending spree, what do you feel? If I say, what do you feel about spending $6,000 on ATVs, all-terrain vehicles, four-wheelers? There's an emotional response there. Maybe you like the idea of spending $6,000 on all-terrain vehicles. What if I say, let's spend $6,000 on a top-of-the-line gaming computer system? This is your money, not mine. This is your money. $6,000 of your money on that item. You can test yourself like this. Note the way that your emotions respond to the idea of spending money on something that you care about and something that you don't care about. For those of you who are married, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Chances are you have a spouse who is interested in spending money on things that you're not interested in. And that's probably a point of conflict. Some studies show that money is the number one thing married people fight about. So there's a reason for that. We obviously attach emotion to money, emotion to spending. You might be saying, no duh, Spark. Okay, but we're laying a foundation here to our discussion. We're still addressing the topic, what is the key to financial success? In order for us to understand that, we must address our emotions in this issue. We need to be able to control our emotions. We need to be able to think long term. If we're going to be successful, if we're going to have the retirement nest egg that we want, and if we're going to have homes free of debt, or consumer debt at least, we're going to need to think long term when it comes to the things we spend our money on. You've heard of impulse buying. Can you control your emotions? That's what we're really asking. For those of you who are bad at impulse buying, right? You see something, you buy it impulsively, spontaneously, you weren't expecting to buy it, but you bought it. That's called an impulse buy. If you're bad at that, and you have a tendency to impulse buy a lot of things, you're not very good at controlling your emotional spending. And that's going to put you at a disadvantage here. I recommend you do some searching for the zero-based budget online. Dave Ramsey is my preferred source for most of my information. The zero-based budget is a great place to start for learning how to control your money. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but that's a great resource there. So without further ado, what is the key to financial success? Simply put, what is the key to financial success? The ability to delay gratification. Self-discipline, self-control. If you don't understand the word gratification, to be gratified is to get something that you want, right? I desperately want a soda. I'm drinking water instead, but I desperately want a soda. If I were to go get one, I would be gratified. Okay? So what is our key to financial success? The ability to delay that gratification. To say, I want something, but I'm not going to get it yet. Self-discipline, self-control. There's been a study done, and it's a very popular study. You've probably heard of it before, and you might already know where I'm going with this. The marshmallow test. Back in Stanford, I believe it was, in the middle of the 20th century, a study was done where a scientist placed a marshmallow in front of a child, a small child, and said, if you can wait to consume this marshmallow for 15 minutes, then I will bring you a second one. You're welcome to eat this marshmallow now if you want to, but you won't get the second one later. If you're willing to wait 15 minutes for the second marshmallow, and when I come back 15 minutes from now, it's still there, then I'll give you a second one. The majority of kids could not do this, or I should say, chose not to do this. In fact, the study showed, and by the way, this study has been replicated, and I've got a link for another YouTube video down in the descriptions below about this. Despite how many times this study has been replicated, generally the statistics are about the same. Only 1 in 3 of those kids was able to say to themselves, no, I can wait. I want that second marshmallow. This is what we're talking about with self-discipline, self-control, delaying gratification. And you know what's really interesting about those studies is they did a follow-up study on the kids. So, these little 4, 5, 6-year-old kids, right, who are given this marshmallow test. They did a follow-up study on them, and they found that later on in their late teens, early adulthood, the children, almost without fail, almost without exception, the children who said no to that first marshmallow so they could get the second one later, again, they got both, but they had to wait. The children who were able to wait, the 2 marshmallow kids, they had better SAT scores. They did better in school. They landed better jobs. Generally, they were more successful. Simply put, altogether, the 2 marshmallow kids were more successful. This is one of the best things that study showed, is that the ability to control ourselves and say no to the things that we want right now, the frivolous things, so that we can focus on getting the better, bigger things later. If you can possess that ability, you have the key to success. That's all it is. Be a 2 marshmallow person. For us, let's talk us right now. We want to retire rich. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video right now, you want to be rich someday. We all want to be rich someday. It's kind of the American dream, or the dream of the Western developed world, to get to be in control of your own destiny and become wealthy someday. So if that's what you want, that's what I want. We have to learn how to say no to the little things between here and there. We have to be 2 marshmallow people. I use that as an actual adjective in my classrooms. Are you a 2 marshmallow person, or are you a 1 marshmallow person? Can you say no to the cool thing, the newer car, the newer gaming system, the newer phone, the nicer clothes? Can you say no to these things to get that second marshmallow, the better one, later? Being a 2 marshmallow person is the key to financial success. Dave Ramsey has a video, and I've linked it down in the descriptions below, where he talks about the difference between success and failure and how it takes discipline. And no discipline is pleasant in the moment, right? Think about your parents. They disciplined you, and that discipline was necessary, right? Discipline is necessary to growth. Whether it's instilled discipline from an authority figure, or life giving you discipline through unfortunate events or chance or acts of God. Discipline changes us, and usually for the better. No discipline is pleasant in the time, but later we benefit from it, and that's exactly what this key to financial success is all about. The ability to delay gratification to get something better later on. There's another video I'm linking in the description down below. It's on the PragerU channel, and it's narrated by Chris Hogan. And he has a term there that he talks about called intentionality. This idea of, if you want this, you've got to be intense about it, and you've got to do it intentionally. I strongly recommend you watch that video, because he talks about how every single one of us has the ability to be a millionaire. It's not beyond our reach. It's not. It's only a 5-minute video, so it's really brief. Strongly recommend you watch that. You can become a millionaire. You can. You can retire rich. You can. I can. I'm planning on it. I tell my students at the beginning of every semester, you're looking at a future millionaire. And they scoff at me. Oh, you're a teacher. What do you know? You can't get rich. Well, watch. And then I teach them. The rest of the course is me teaching them. And that's what I'm trying to do for you here now too. You can become a millionaire. Watch that video. It's only 5 minutes. Strongly recommend it. What is the key to financial success? Simply put, saying no to the stuff you don't need. Spend only what you budget your money for. Have a budget in place. Be a 2-marshmallow person. Yes, we all want to go get that soda or that coffee. We all want to have nicer cars right now. We all want to have nicer clothes. The people who can get rich are the people who can say no. Control your emotions. Control yourself. Simply put, good luck.